All right, boys, welcome back to another phenomenal episode of the Podium Talk podcast. In this episode, we had another special guest with Jules coming on, a 60-kilo lifter who competed at the Southeastern Collegiate Cup. This is Tony's lifter, so we kind of let them do a coach-client confidential type deal. And then we went into her upcoming performances at Cnats and kind of went into giving her an interview and getting to know her there. Overall, phenomenal guest, really easy to talk to, and I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to Podium Talk.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Welcome back to the podcast. Next episode with Julia on. I'm not even gonna. I already forgot how to say your last name. You want to say it for us?
Olejniczak.
Olejniczak.
Yes,
Julia
sir.
Olejniczak. We got it down. We had an exciting weekend up there at DNA. A lot to talk about, but first let's go ahead and do our training recaps. Avery, I guess we could probably skip you. I don't know.
Yeah, I literally haven't trained. So there's that.
All right, so we'll move on to Tony. How you been, Tone?
Well, I've been great. I feel really good. I feel better than ever right now. Well, I forgot to send Avery the bench today, but that wasn't great. That was actually like the worst session I've had in a little while, just because I was talking so much to other people. But week 4 starts tomorrow, and I don't know why. I just feel so damn good that, like, I don't know, maybe I could like do something that my old self once would have. And I think it's just the start. It's just the start to, you know, a real solid string of good blocks. I don't know. I have a really good feeling about myself right now. So that's it.
Well,
So you
as far as me, we're about to cook, dude. We're about to cook. We're gonna hit some ambitions, and we're gonna be just like Tony. But obviously, we don't need to go to Jules because she just competed, so we don't need that. But we will go straight into the coach-client confidential part. Tony, you want to take it?
Thanks, Eli. Well, if you're listening and you hate the sound of my voice, this might be where you want to tune out. But
Are you the you're that one chick from Two White Lights, right?
please don't say that, bro. Because I'm the main hater with her. So like I actually that's like a huge
You're the old
that's a
Solana.
huge insecurity.
bro,
Yeah.
there's a great chance that she's just like, I like to just every week type in a powerlifting into Spotify and like see what podcasts are out. And there's a chance she's listening to that and she's like, damn, that dude just said he hated my voice right now.
She doesn't.
I mean, I am the Two White Lights fan of
Anyways,
the year. I don't know. Go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
okay. Can
Two-time
we get back
back.
on track? But no, so I guess we could start off with just like how Julie and I met was I don't even know when. It was back in like September, October.
Yeah, I think September because I stopped training with my old coach right when I went to college.
Okay. So Josh Zerlot texted me and was like, "Hey, can you coach this girl or whatever?" I was like, "Huh, I guess I could see." And she was pretty strong. So I was like, "Sweet. Awesome. I'll train her or I'll coach her." And it was definitely interesting. Uh Julia. Actually, Julia, you should like introduce yourself.
Oh,
Actually. Like who are you? Where do you live? Like what like your
okay.
birthday, not your birthday, how old you are.
Dream goals, aspirations.
I don't know.
Um, I'm Julia. I live in Georgia right now, but I go to the University of Alabama. I've been powerlifting for less than a year. Yeah, less than a year. I was a gymnast and then I had to stop because of hip surgery and hip issues. So then I started lifting. I feel like that's about it. I don't know.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but that's like I think a theme we have here is we forget to introduce our guests.
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure we did that. So yeah, Julia, she's just a college, like an Alabama college girl, part of a sorority. So I was
Yeah.
like, this might be kind of a challenge just because of I remember when like specifically the first block, you had like a really tough schedule because I think you were you like rushing?
No, but we had like our new member period in my sorority. So we had to be at the house for certain hours and had a bunch of meetings. And on top of that, I did not have a car. So it was like really hard to find a time to go to the gym and then find a ride to the gym because the only like powerlifting gym in Alabama is 10 minutes away from me driving and I have to go on a highway. So it was challenging in that aspect.
Okay, yeah. So it was tough. And I was like, man, this is a little sketchy, hopefully. And this isn't like just because of who she is or whatever. She's like great. But like I was like, hopefully, this works out and she is willing to commit as much as I'd like her to, because she's really good and I think we could do a lot of good things. But she did commit. She ended up figuring it out one way or another, and we slowly over the blocks ended up getting better about um, what we needed to do. And basically, by the time we got to the final block coming into prep, uh, it was like the month of December, obviously, and everything was going really good. Her squat was booming. Her bench looked completely fine. Like it looked good. It wasn't, anything through the roof, but her deadlift in specific was really good. But then her hips
Yeah,
started hurting.
the last block, I missed every single deadlift that I had. Like I didn't hit one sumo deadlift for a month. It was not good.
Yeah, so no, yeah, there was definitely a couple weeks there where she just couldn't really pick anything up because it hurt. Her hips hurt too much. So luckily the secondary day she was doing conventional the whole time, so we made sure that he was able to do that just in case on meet day we couldn't actually stand wide. But luckily we ended up like just it ended up working out. Like
Mhm.
honestly, like we didn't do anything magical at all. We kind of just uh toughed it out for a block, and the last deadlift she missed 281. But we literally like changed her like technique, and like I gave her some cues in person. In that in person, like that one session I felt like was really like very productive. I don't know, it just goes to show how important it is to like be kind of near your coach, because they can just show you things in person that you just cannot explain over the phone.
Mhm.
But I guess Julia soaked it in extremely well, and then she pulled like perfectly at the meet. And we'll get into that later. But that was just kind of a quick run through of the prep. Like I don't think anything serious happened. I mean, we had a little scare there for a second. I think she was gonna go on a ski trip.
Oh
Uh
yeah.
that would have like totally derailed the prep, I think, and I have no idea how that would have gone for us, but I think she got out of it and we ended up being able to get some pretty good things done at the meet. So I don't know, Julia, is there anything prep wise
No,
you want to talk about? I just spoke for you. I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. No, I feel like everything was fine. Like the last block was good. Just the block before was interesting with deadlifts, but I mean, after that, it was easy. And then like I think when we were at DNA, that's like the second time I ever met you or we lifted together. And before that, like I had my coach telling me how to do conventional, but I kind of just thought of sumo as like, oh, I'll just pick it up. And I never really thought anything about it in that aspect. So it was really nice to actually like have direct cues on what I need to be thinking about and what I need to be doing to pick it up. So that was good.
Yeah, and I mean, don't think I'm like like when we say this, don't think I'm like not involved at all, like whether like deadlift or whatever. But I swear to y'all, she was like smoking sumo deadlifts, like extremely well without me saying anything. So I was like, Avery, you can attest to this. Of it's like getting stronger. Like, why would I change anything? You
I,
know?
I mean, like most of the time, like the key word I think you said it was like toughing it out. Like there's usually not going to be some like miracle exercise or like even cue that we can give. Like you sometimes you just have that little divot and you just bounce back. Like you bounce back. I don't know. There's really not a great way to explain it, honestly.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%. And I kind of like kept that in consideration. That's why I was like, we're not just gonna abandon it and like
no,
brush off.
actually, I about to say one thing I think Evan has said multiple times is like we hit these lifts and we hit these sessions like when we need them. It's just how it like. I mean, it's the sport. It's how it's how it's supposed to be on paper. You know.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly what she did. I mean, I won't lie, the day she missed 281 was just like a rough day in my head, and I kind of want to go into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be careful, bro. I'm trying to be careful here.
You're
You know,
saying
whatever. Yeah, the cat.
no,
Fuck it. I don't care, man. Whatever. So Jules competed against two other girls, and the girl that I knew that she was gonna be the closest to was in the gym at the time, and to me, and I didn't know anything about Corinne. I didn't know anything about her, but she like benched like 187 in front of both of us, and I was like, whoa! I was like, that actually like scared me because I thought she was not that strong. And then Jewel was failing 281 in front of her. I was like, okay, this isn't a good look, and it's probably not gonna make Jules feel any better about this meet. So, you know, obviously I kept that all down. And it doesn't matter what happens in training or whatever, because I was like, at the end of the day, like, we're gonna do what we can do anyways. And whether she wins or not, it doesn't matter. Or whether she comes, you know, the goal at the end of the day was just to, you know, kind of bring out all the work that we put in to the meet because she had a really bad first meet. So the goal was just to kind of actually prove to ourselves that we can execute on the stage before going to Cnats. Um, but at the end of the day, nobody wants to come in last, and nobody wants to fail in front of someone they're directly competing against in a week. You know,
Mhm.
so I don't know. That session just like was a lot. I don't know how that. Maybe it wasn't as much usuals. I don't really know.
No, I mean, it definitely scared me a little bit because I saw Corinne back when I was 56, before I moved up a weight class. Like, I saw her deadlift before, and probably up until I started college, my deadlift was horrible. I could barely deadlift 225. Like, it was really, really weak. It was not good. So, just in my mind, like, I knew her as a strong person. And then, like, failing and then watching her bench that much, I was like, okay, I'm gonna lose. And I was really scared. And then I didn't know anything about the girl that got first, but I was like, she's 23. Her numbers look great on lifting cast. I'm like, there's no way. I was scared with both of them. So that was definitely not a great gym day, but she ended up being really nice and now we're friends after we both failing our deadlifts in the gym. So that was fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, shout out her. I had a great time that day, and I think she's a great athlete as well. But that was, you know, at the end of the day, I didn't want my athlete to lose, or you know, I didn't want. I wanted us to have the day that we wanted. So that whole taper week, I was a little bit nervous, and I kind of at a certain point, and you know, all coaches, I'm sure you could attest to this. Like as a handler or a coach, you can only do so much, and like it's about how good the athlete is at just executing when it matters and in front of a big crowd, like in front of your entire powerlifting team,
Mhm.
you know, in front of your family. I think your family was there.
Yeah.
Your
And I was also,
family.
because of the first meet, I think I went like 4 for 9. I did not do well on
no,
anything.
I think I did that at my first one as well, for real.
Yeah. So, like, can't do this. Like, am I gonna do horrible again? So thinking back on that, that was rough too. But it ended up working out.
Yeah. So, we especially going to our first national meet in April. We're about to go. She's gonna go to a national meet in April.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So we needed to know that Jules could, arise to the occasion. I'm not saying this is the same thing as a national meet, but I will say that there was a lot going on in the gym at the time. Uh,
Yeah.
I think anybody would be able to at that meet. That meet wasn't the easiest. I think there was a lot of curveballs that were coming to everybody. So I'm just extremely proud that we were able to show up and do what we did. But Jules, why don't we just dive why don't you walk us through what you did attempt wise, unless you want me to do it, because I actually hate saying my own numbers. But if you I want you to talk more because I feel like I'm talking
Okay.
too
Yeah.
much.
I don't really care. Squats went well for the first two, and then we made a big jump on squat 3, and that would have been a PR at 281, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
hit
So
265 like a week before, so I had no idea how much was on the bar, but I don't know. I like completely lost my balance, and that was pretty upsetting to fail in front of that many people, and to fail in front of my powerlifting team was not great. But I mean, the rest of like bench and deadlift went really well, so it ended up being fine.
yeah. So speaking of fail, another thing that did actually occur on meet day, which was my first time experiencing it with anybody, anybody, um, was Jules came back to me after weigh-ins and said she missed weight.
Yep.
Uh, and she had already been spinning, and she had already we did a water cut, uh, and she was over point, I think it was point 15,
Hmm.
60.15. So in that moment, I'm like, well, we've already spat, we've already tried to cut water. She's dehydrated, she hasn't eaten anything. Like, there's literally, she can't pee, she can't poop. There's nothing else we could do.
Yeah, and at that point too, weigh-ins were already like running late, and I was in flight A, so that
Yeah,
was stressful.
yes, that was super frustrating because I
Mm.
remember being in the warm up room at 7, like 02, talking to Noah, like, yo, wait, where's the scale? Because I wanted to weigh her in prior to weigh-ins. Like, at nationals, you can do that. There's a calibrated scale set up just at somewhere, I don't know where, but you can go and like weigh yourself before you weigh in.
Yeah,
Um, so I wanted to do that. We couldn't do that, and they actually ended up Edson had to line up everybody on one side, and then they lined up all the girls on the other, and it was just extremely so. Like I don't know what they were doing in there, Jules, but like I felt like it was like taking like 3 minutes per person to weigh in.
no, it was taking 4 to 5. We were waiting for a very, very long time.
Yes, and Jules was one of the first to weigh in. So had she had made weight, this wouldn't have been an issue really at all because she would have had so much time.
I still
But
didn't. I didn't until like 7:40.
the first time,
Yeah,
yeah. So that's crazy actually. But the fact that she missed weight, we had to wait for everybody else to weigh in so she could weigh in again. So by the time
hmm,
she made weight, I think it was 8:25, and lifting started at 9, like
yeah.
8:20, 8:15. So it was really like a good 45-minute weigh-in. Um,
Tony, pause. I know he's not about to do it. I think he is, but continue.
who's doing? Oh yeah, Eli. Don't mind Eli. He's gonna go take an ice bath. He's in a hoodie. He's not. But anyways, yeah. The After that whole weigh-in scare, she ate for like 20 minutes, I think. Ate and drank for like 20 minutes, and then we had to start stretching.
Yeah.
And then another issue we actually ran into on the day was they didn't put the openers in for anybody, and they also changed it from 3 flights to 2 flights. Um, and that like totally threw everything off. Like they did that like 15 minutes before 9. Like they
Yeah, the
changed
one
it from
thing.
yeah, it was really like bad because we had no idea now it was 2 flights. Or at
Mhm.
least I didn't. I don't think Julia. I didn't. I hope she wasn't paying attention too much to that. But
No, I
yeah, they changed her from 3 flights to 2 flights, and I remember finding that out because Lily Young like jumped in on our combat combo rack. And she was like,
mhm.
I had no idea I was competing in flight A, so can I just jump in with y'all? And she did, and it worked out for her. But yeah, no, we were like, I was like asking Edson, the ref, one of the refs, I was like, hey, are we still starting at 9? Because we started weigh-ins at 7:30, so are we still starting at 9? And he's like, I mean, yeah, we're planning on it. And then it's 9, it's like 8:59, and there's no openers in lifting cast. And there's no time to show when lifting starts. There's nothing. So I'm like talking to Julia. I'm like, Julia, I don't know when you should hit your last warm up. Like, I have no idea because I don't know what order you're in. Like, I don't know where in the flight you're squatting, and I
Yeah.
don't know when lifting actually starts. So we took our last warm up at like 9:04 or 3 or something, and then lifting maybe started at like 9:10.
Yeah,
Eli,
it was
Eli, you were
Yeah.
the commentator, so it was
So
like
I remember
9:10.
one thing specifically. It was like 9:15 actually. It was like so they called out at like 8:59 and they're like lifters, we will start lifting in 20 minutes and no one was like rolling out. No one was like there's some people who weren't even having a singlet on. And I was like that's not right. Like you got to like for me 20 minutes is probably enough time to get under a bar and get ready for a squat, but like I saw people without a singlet, without their stuff out of their bags, and I saw these Coastal Carolina people coming over rushing into their bags.
Yeah, I didn't have my singlet on. And then the line, there were probably like five of us waiting to change. So we ended up changing in like meeting rooms because there was just so many people that had to change right away.
Yeah. So I didn't know what to do in the moment. I was like, okay, well, let's just take this last warm up because it's literally 9 and
Mhm.
they're going to have to start at some point. So we took 226, and then like we realized, I finally realized that Julia was squatting like third to last in a like 12-person flight or so. I don't remember how big the flight was. Um, it might have even been bigger, but she was squatting like third to last. So even when lifting started, she still had like 10 minutes to like chill and wait before she had a squat. So we did our last warm up, and then it was just taking too long. So she was like, I was like, hey, Jules, do you want to take another warm up? So she went back, took more warm ups while we were waiting. And then finally lifting started, and then we were able to get in and open with 254, and then we took 265, which was the state record, correct?
Yeah.
And then we missed 281. We jumped 7.5 kilos to 281.
Or I
Uh,
actually think one might have been the state record.
you think two what?
I think the first squat might have broken the state record.
Oh, well,
It was really, really low.
oh, okay. Well, either way, ended out spot with the 265 state record, but we missed 281, which if anybody has missed a third squat, like you don't you understand how like much that affects your mental for the rest of the day. Um, and it to me, whenever Jules missed 281, she looked extremely like distraught, like extremely upset about it. Um, I don't know how you felt. Maybe I'm just like dramatizing it, but like,
No, I was upset. I mean, like, I grew up in gymnastics, as I said. So, like, I feel like my whole life I need to do stuff. I need to get it done. I need it to be perfect. And like I do not like failing. I don't like messing up. I don't like that in any aspect of my life, but especially lifting. And then failing in the gym is already like annoying for me and I'm like, okay, I suck. But then failing in front of that many people was just I don't know. It was very hard and annoying, but I tried to kind of forget about it going in to my bench and deadlifts because I'm a very anxious person. And like, if I kept on thinking about that, I would mess up the rest of my day. Like,
yeah, and that's exactly what I was scared of because I know when I fail or I miss like squats don't go the way I want them to, which is what happened in the past. 2 meets I've done,
Mhm.
it like automatically makes me like almost like halfway like check out of the meet. Like I'm already tired of it. I'm already like, wow, like I can't have a perfect day now. Like I can't do what it was I wanted to do. So like what even is the point? So I know I felt bad and but hey, shit like this is where I like kind of realized that Jules is definitely like a great athlete because she went on the rest of the day and had a perfect day. So went on third bench. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jules. We matched your bench PR.
No, my that was I hit 170 before, but it was gross. Really, really gross. So it was
Okay,
like five
well,
less than what I've hit, but around there, I guess.
okay, yeah. Well, we hit 165, which was a pretty heavy number for her, and it was in a meet, so it was legit, like legit pause, everything. Her butt was down, so that was great. Got 165. That was really exciting. And then as we got to deadlift, this is where I was scared because I was like, if her hips hurt, or if like maybe she just overthinks it and kind of forgets everything, like just has a. I remember a week out, you pulled 265, and it was so like funky. It was so funky, and I was like, if that happens again, could she potentially maybe bomb out of this meet? And I had no idea what she was gonna do on deadlift, so I think we opened with the same opener we had for squat, which was 254. And
We went a little bit higher. We chipped it.
oh, okay. Excuse
Yeah.
me. I'm sorry.
No, you're
260. And she like blew it up like really easily. And from there on, we just went up to 281 and secured that. I just wanted to retake what she failed, just because there was no point in trying to like go heavier. Like I didn't know what was gonna happen, so we just
Mhm.
secured the 281, and that was actually like the easiest third attempt I've seen in a while. It was definitely the easiest third attempt anybody associated with me has ever done. I'd like to think like the
Yeah.
easiest, cleanest. So end of the day, 8 for 9. Tied the total state record because I didn't, I didn't know that. I wish Jules, you should have told me the number. Like you knew. Wait, did you? I
No,
don't know.
before like I had no idea where I was at. I wasn't really thinking about it. I feel like I had so much on my mind with all of Alabama competing, trying not to pay attention to what was going on there, and then competing myself. I wasn't on my phone the whole day. I had no idea we were that close until I left, and I was like, oh, we literally matched it.
So we matched the state record. We 100% could have took it,
Yeah.
but whatever. We'll
But
take more.
since you mentioned them, now's probably a good time to speak about Alabama Barbell and how many people y'all got or whatever y'all got going on.
Okay. We had 12 people, 12, 11 people compete. It was every single person's first competition ever. So that was pretty crazy. And I think only two other people on the team have a coach. So another kid, Grayson, he's coached by Tony. And then another girl on my team used to be coached by a dude at KSU. And then she ended it a week before comp for, I don't know. There was other stuff going on there. But so everyone else was basically on a program that me and Josh kind of wrote together that was like very general, just based on RPE, 12-week program, trying to get them to get what needs to be done. And that was a little bit frustrating. Just Alabama is a very big party school. So having to be like, hey guys, like we really need to cut back on drinking. We need to be following this program, not overshooting, not ego lifting, and doing all of that with the team was a little bit frustrating at times. But I think the people on my team that listened, that were in the gym and following what needed to be done, they did great at the meet and it really showed. So I was really proud of all of them. Yeah.
No, that's funny that you mentioned it because I actually know exactly what you're talking about because of how many people I have that go to Georgia Southern.
Mm-hmm.
So, and those people down in Statesboro like to drink. So,
Yeah. And that was definitely also interesting. I'd like to bring this up. but Alabama has had 3 powerlifting clubs before mine, and all of them have failed. It's just like I didn't know that going into it because I actually started the club at Alabama this year as a freshman, and I didn't realize that they've had 3 clubs before that failed. But I could see why. It was just the environment at the school is awesome. I love Alabama. It's an amazing school, but it is not filled with powerlifters. Most of the heavy lifters that I met that were really strong in the gym, they would like come to me. They were like, "Yeah, I want to compete. This is going to be awesome." And then they found out we got tested and they were like, "I can't do it anymore." And just like steroids are prevalent there. So that was a really big rough thing that I had to kind of overcome because all of the like Greek life and stuff like that was very prevalent in the school and trying to find people to compete. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that at all about Bama, that there was a lot of untested or a lot of guys using drugs
I
there.
mean, I don't know. I mean, I got some friends at some party schools, and I don't know. I think steroid use is more prevalent than you could think, bro. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, so that's interesting. That's really interesting. Jules, well, I know you've been powerlifting for a little while now, but like I don't know, like what made, you want to start a powerlifting team like so early on, like you're a freshman, like first semester freshman. What made you
Yeah.
want to
So I joined a sorority and I don't know, I wasn't really that into it. Like I didn't think I would be that into it. It's just not my thing. Like I'm a very homebody person. I like to sit at home and I like to be at the gym and that's really it. I don't enjoy going out that much. So I kind of felt like no matter what I did at a sorority at Alabama, like no matter where I end up, I would make friends, but I feel like I would still feel a little bit out of place if that makes sense. And I saw being at Trueborn is where I train, seeing like the Georgia Tech team, the KSU team, the Southern team, and having friends that were a year older than me already at those gyms and like seeing how much they loved it and how like that was their group of people. I was just like, that's really something that I want to have at school. It was a whole new environment for me. Like, I mean, I've moved around a lot as a child, but it was very different from being at home. Like, I had to hold myself accountable. So I really wanted other people to like share the passion of lifting with me and be able to be like, you know what? No, it's Friday night. Let's go to the gym tonight. Let's not go out and have friends to do that with me instead of being like completely alone in it at a brand new school.
Wow, okay. That's dope. Yeah, because I was curious, like I was like, okay, she's the president, but did she actually was she the one who started it? Like how in the world is she a president at fresh as a freshman?
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't realize I also was like when I first like started working with you, I was like, oh, it's probably like 5 kids that like to lift on her team. But then she puts together a team and they show, I don't know how many people showed up.
I think we had 11 people compete, and there's about 30, 40 people in the club. So we had quite a few people compete, and I think we had 5 people qualify for Cnats. A bunch of people placed. A few people went 9 for 9. So they did pretty good.
Yeah, no, so I didn't know that at all. I didn't know. I mean, we didn't talk much at all when we first started. We just kind of, I just sent you the program and most of the stuff I knew was from Zerlot, but no, that's crazy to hear that you guys actually have a pretty nice roster and you got people going to CNETs and stuff. That's great.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was definitely really rough. I think my vice president and treasurer this year, I've heard from them maybe twice. So just doing everything with Alabama as the school themselves and setting all of the logistics up was really, really rough. And then the gym that we were at ended up shutting down midway through my first semester. So then we had to like kind of find a brand new gym in like 2 weeks notice. So it was definitely crazy.
Man, okay. Well, that's good to hear. 'Cause I'm literally just learning like this is new for me, just like it is for Eli and Avery. Uh, shoot. Yeah. Well, I guess do we move on from I mean, well actually let's keep staying on this little college thing.
Mhm.
So what do you I don't know if you how much you've like conversated with other college presidents or whatever. Um, what are your kind of thoughts of like the whole I can't say Georgia because you don't I guess I could because you are associated with KSU and Georgia Tech and everything. But what are your thoughts of like the collegiate scene and what do you see potential in it? Um do you think maybe there's some flaws or when it comes like maybe politically or just I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about it?
I don't really know that much on a lot of the stuff that happened in Georgia, just because I was at college, I was studying, doing other stuff. I feel like I've heard like a few of like the drama stuff from Josh and friends there that's been interesting. I don't really know anything about the politics going on, if I'm being honest.
Well, I just didn't know if you Alabama teams like communicated like Auburn, UAB, South Alabama.
No, not really. I actually communicated a lot with Hunter at Georgia Southern. Like Josh gave me his number and I asked him probably like enough questions to annoy him about everything going on with like the team and how to set stuff up. So he was very helpful on that. But we haven't really talked to anyone at Auburn or UAB before going into the group me with KSU and everything for the competition. I didn't really know anything about any of the other teams.
Dang, so y'all are just getting left out, huh? Y'all are just kind of outcast out there.
Yeah, I mean, even at the competition, Matthew didn't even know I was president. Like it was just no one really, I mean, we're brand new, no one really knew who we were, what was going on, even that probably that there was even a club at Bama just because it was brand new.
No, I just thought it was pretty cool that there were so many collegiate clubs from the state of Alabama because my not that it was a collegiate meet or anything, but my first meet was like a Southeast regional, and like there
Mhm.
was probably a couple, but I didn't think that there was that many lifters from Alabama.
Yeah,
Although
well,
although the meet was in Jacksonville, but
yeah, so many people at Bama, like at the gym I go to, no one is USAPL. I feel like the only lifters in Alabama that are USAPL are on the collegiate teams. Everyone else does like IPF or USAP and all of that. So there's just like no USAPL in Bama. It's very, very small.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
but yeah, then there was y'all. I mean Auburn,
Mhm.
South Alabama, and UAB. So I thought it was pretty cool.
that is dope for sure. That's why I was kind of curious because Auburn rolled up deep. You know what I'm saying? UAB they got their people. I don't really know what's going on in South Alabama, but I know they got stuff going on over there. So I didn't know if you guys had your own stuff going on in Alabama, kind of like Georgia has their stuff going on. But shoot, I guess not really. But who
Yeah,
knows?
maybe not included in it. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's
Like,
picking up a lot of steam. So Eli, you were gonna say something?
so would you be like interested in starting like not a beef, but like a competition between Auburn and Alabama where y'all clash? You could even like start a meet because I'm looking at USAPL's calendar. Alabama doesn't really host any meets. I'm a bit
I was about to
ambitious.
say. I mean, with that many schools of like solid populations, like y'all should have a collegiate meet at least.
Yeah, I mean, just
Yeah,
like kind of Albazati did here, like even keep it Auburn, Alabama. You don't have to include them and have that rivalry carry over to powerlifting.
yeah, that would be really interesting just because like I mean, just alone with football, like we don't like Auburn. Auburn hates us. And I don't know, like even starting this, a bunch of people on my team were like, oh, I just want to beat Auburn. Like it's just like a known hatred, I feel like in the schools. That would be very, very interesting to host one. I'm leaving Alabama next year. So um I'll bring that idea up to whoever's president next because that would be really fun. But I'm kind of trying to not plan too far ahead in that aspect just because I'm not going to be there to do all of that.
That is true. I already kind of forgot that you were leaving. Yep.
Yeah.
And you're going
I'm
to
Southern.
Oh, Georgia
Hey,
Southern. Yep.
Of course.
So you're gonna be the next. You're gonna be the new Eagle Power person, I guess. Uh, that's cool. That's where I come from. So I actually co-founded that. Me and Edson.
Yeah.
But anyways, enough of the collegiate stuff. Uh, I do think maybe I kind of want to see what you thought about the meet. I know you've only done one other meet,
Hmm.
uh, but I was just curious as to what you thought of the meet, as a whole. Did you enjoy it? Did you think the venue was too this or that, or do you think?
I mean, I definitely enjoyed it. It was a really fun meet. It was very, very hectic. I feel like session one was just crazy with weigh-ins and the warm-up room and everything. And I was really hoping that, like, okay, they'll get it figured out session one. This is DNA's first time ever hosting a meet. Like, session two will be better. And I handled a kid in session two, and I felt like even that was just, it was crazy. It was very all over the place. Like, half of the time we didn't know what was going on. Um, I don't know. I don't want to say it was bad, but I felt like there were definitely some things that were a little crazy on meet day and not too well organized. But I mean the meet was good. I didn't think that they'd be able to host that many people. Like I was very interested on seeing how they were gonna do two platforms
Right.
in DNA and have like all of these teams coming out, and like I had parents from my team like flying from, I don't know where, but flying from far away to come see their kids compete. So like we had families show out, and I'm sure a bunch of other schools did too. So I just didn't know how they would fit all of that in DNA, but it ended up working out. Just
Hmm.
a little crazy.
No, for sure. I completely agree with everything you're saying. Definitely, especially I really felt because I literally train at DNA, so I'm always
Mhm.
there. So I knew that this was a really small venue. And we talked about that with Matt on his podcast. You know, I definitely thought the best of everything just because there's like such a large. It was a relatively large local meet, like 90 plus lifters.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, they have all these ambitions and stuff. At one point, they were talking about a prime time, this, and that. It's going to be a great meet. And, there's going to be lots of people in there, but Alex Waters and everybody's going to figure out a way to make it all work. And it worked because, the meet went okay. Like, it went pretty, it did win. It went like it happened. But
Hmm.
it's definitely like, it was just too small.
Yeah. Like
It was
even
just,
very helpful when all of us had to change. He was like, okay, y'all can come change in my office. Like he was giving us a bunch of other options with what he had, but it was very tiny. And even like, I don't know what it's called, but like behind the platforms where we were competing, that space was a little cramped at times, especially handling someone in session two. I was like one of the only girl handlers back there, and I'm pretty short. I'm barely 5 foot, so I was like trying to push through these crowds of people, getting my lifter to like go get baby powder or go compete, and it was very cramped and a little hectic for me, but it worked out, I guess.
oh man, yeah, that was I had a fun time, but no, like we'll get more into that like another time.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Um,
sorry.
I mean, I think that concludes really my coach client confidential. I mean, I don't really have. I was curious as just your thoughts of the meet and stuff, but besides that, I don't really have anything else to talk about regarding her performance at the meet. I think it was great, but if you guys want to just move straight into the Cnats,
Let's do it. That was
kind of.
beautiful, Tony. Really proud of you there. So we kind of have a set list of questions. Like we kind of are going to interview you here, kind of let people get to know you more, even though we've answered
Mhm.
most of them. But happy you had a great performance there. Now we're looking forward into CNATs. Are you gonna get Are you gonna get a bit ambitious and like kind of shoot for, obviously you want to be in the top there, but can you foresee yourself being top five, top three? I don't know any
Um,
other 67s or 60s.
60, I don't know. So from what I've looked at in like years past, I can't see myself doing that freshman year. Um, I mean, that was my second ever competition. I've been doing this for less than a year. I feel like once my deadlift and squat kind of go up a little bit more, then maybe, but I I don't really know. Like I'd be happy if I got top 20 at that point.
Mm.
Like just because it is my first year and I'm competing against people that are a lot older than me that have been like have had multiple meets like this. So I mean, I'm happy that I qualified. I'm really excited to be able to compete on a national stage, but I think it's gonna kind of be more of a meet like competing against myself and seeing what I can do compared to this meet, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Tony did tell me before this past meet, I was like, she's just not that competitive. Like she wants to win, but she doesn't want to like talk bad about anybody, or she doesn't want to, say she's going to beat this person or that. So, obviously I thought that'd be your answer. But as far as training going into this, obviously
Yeah.
Tony's going to get you right. He's going to kind of get your deadlift and squat comfortable, help you get those hits. But like, what
Mm.
kind of mindset do you train with? Like, how intense are your sessions, would you say?
Um, I don't know. I feel like most of the time when I'm in the gym, the buddy that I go with more trains in bodybuilding. So at the gym that I'm in, I'm kind of like back there by myself, alone. So like I control the speaker, which is nice, but I don't know. Like I'm serious, I'm locked in, I'm not talking to anyone else, but I feel like I'm not like I don't
Mhm.
scream at people or anything. I'm like more of a quiet person. So I I don't know. Like I feel like some of the men, like I know Josh when he trains, like he's like F you and like screaming, he gets very into it, but I don't do that.
That he does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But
He's a
so
little
what do
cornball.
you blast on those speakers? What kind of music are you playing while you live?
Really everything. I listen to like all types of music. So sometimes I'm like hitting an RP9 deadlift and I'm listening to like Lana Del Rey or
Mhm.
Zach Bryan, which is very interesting. But sometimes I listen to rock. I don't know. It really just like depends on my mood, but I could really lift to anything and even like slower songs, I'm happy lifting to that. And just I feel like when I'm lifting, I'm not thinking about what music's playing. I'm kind of just blocking everything else out.
Phenomenal. Yeah, that's kind of how I am. I'm like strictly slow music podcast or like just something to drown out. Avery just listens to the same song on repeat whatever week it is, and then
Mhm.
Tony's just like those Southern boys with Zerlot just blasting and screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, I mean, obviously, second meet going to Cnats. How are your nerves going to be? How do you expect that meet to go with it being your third meet on this big of a stage? Because I mean, it's very impressive that you're here that early, but I don't want to
Mhm.
understate that at all because that's humongous. But how do you feel like you're going to be on the meet day?
Um, I don't know. I'm actually feeling like not too nervous about it. I actually like in gymnastics, I used to be so nervous about everything. I'm a very anxious and nervous and antsy person a lot. But I thought on meet day yesterday, I was more nervous for all of my other lifters versus me. So hopefully I can just kind of still be calm and like trust that I know what needs to be done and I can do it and like just take what I've done in the gym and put it onto the stage, not be nervous.
Oh, you were muted, Eli, so I didn't hear what you said, so I'm just gonna ignore your mouth movement there. But I was gonna ask, so Jules is, speaking, we're talking about how, you haven't been doing this much very super long, like you've only been doing it, you said, for a year or less.
Yeah, year. It'll be a year in April. So around CNATs.
Holy crap. Okay. So, if you had any advice to give to hopefully, maybe some of your teammates listen, maybe some, of your friends or whatever that are just also kind of getting into it. Listen, but if you had any advice that you think has gotten you to the point where you could qualify for a national meet, uh, what would you say?
I feel like the two biggest things are like not overshooting on some of your lifts. Like trusting that I had some people at the competition that they were like, no, I really want to open with a higher number. And just like being comfortable doing lighter weight going into it. You don't always have to like do some amazing, crazy lift. You want to hit things that you can hit and they're going to be clean. And really just not ego lifting, not overshooting stuff, kind of like trusting the process, if that makes sense. I feel like when I started lifting, I would be like, oh, I'm gonna bench PR like every 2 weeks, and thinking that that was cool because I was getting stronger, but not doing that, I guess. And then I feel like the other biggest thing that I still struggle with, and Tony could probably attest to that, is kind of like not letting your ego get in the way and taking corrections and like trusting when people correct you, they want what's best for you. And I feel like sometimes when Tony's giving me corrections or Josh is giving me corrections, I'm like, okay, they think I suck. Like, I'm not going to listen to them. I'm just going to do what I
That's
want to do.
hilarious because that's
Like,
exactly how them boys take it.
yeah. And even just on like my bench, moving my hands out wider, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I bench like this and it works. And now we're about to go and move my bench hands out wider. So kind of like listening to other people and not taking it too personally.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you feel that way because I mean, you took the advice with the deadlifting really well. I even like you took it better than because I gave advice like that to somebody else that I'm coaching, and I don't think
Mhm.
he's gonna listen. But I sent him like a video of what to do, and then he just didn't do it. So I'm gonna have to get on to him about that later. But I noticed like you literally like doing the like couple cues that I taught you like on the platform. I was like, oh shoot, look at her. She's like actually doing what I told her to do. And then
Yeah.
bam, we was that that was a PR match?
Yeah, that was a PR match.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we should have took over that. But you know what? Like she said, don't overshoot. You don't always gotta go
Yeah.
full effort, max out, whatever.
And
Yeah.
I kind of noticed that as a big trend at the meet because obviously, first session we had 3 lifters bomb out, I believe. Second session, I believe we only had 2, maybe even
Mhm.
1. But like the Coastal Carolina people specifically, they came out opened heavy, struggled on their first, would barely get to their third. I don't know, even in training, like that's just phenomenal advice to the rest of your club and everyone who's starting out. Just take it easy, take what's there on the day. It's obviously pretty good advice for Avery. Avery be overshooting a lot, honestly. He's over there watching the Lions game, but whatever.
I
But
Yeah,
mean, man,
he looks
I'm not.
bad. So.
There's not no reason for me to take over here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I got you. Well, obviously this question is gonna be really tough to answer because you competed yesterday, which is actually
Mhm.
wild that we're recording this right now. Because after, like, I think a day after my meet, I'm sleeping, I'm dead, especially because
Oh,
you were lifting and then
7 hours.
handling. Yeah, a seven
Yeah, I
hour.
was
Yeah,
like 7 hours on Josh's couch. So I just got home and now I'm awake.
jeez. But looking towards CNATs, Tony, you might want to help her out on this one. But what kind of numbers are we gonna look for? This is gonna be really tough. Just squat, bench, and deadlift. Like, what are your dreams of hitting on the stage? Obviously, the dreams are just doing good and being there, beating your old lifts, going 9 for 9,
Yeah.
8 for 9. But what do you see in that?
I mean, I really want to come back and be able to hit 281 on squat, which I failed, or even 290, go a little bit higher. With bench, like I definitely want to go up, but this is gonna sound mean. I don't think it's mean. Corinne took the bench record. She is turning 20 in like February, I think. So I have another year as teen 3. So I don't think I'll be able to get that by Cnats, but hopefully by Ronats I could get back up there and take that. So kind of just pushing on bench, doing better than I did before, nothing big. If with deadlift, if it continues going how it's going right now, maybe shooting, I don't know. I feel like that's shooting a lot, but going for like the deadlift record or something like that, definitely hitting total record because I matched it today. But I guess going up on deadlift, if I could get to 300, that would be really, really cool for me. Just because a year ago, I could barely pull 200 pounds.
So what is the QT for the 60s? Because, I mean, you said going to raw nats there pretty confidently. Do you know what it is?
Oh, yeah. I think I hit it already. I mean, this one, I think it was 270. So I was like 50 kilos over for collegiate nats, and then raw nats, USAPL. Let me look.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
already phenomenal that you're going to CNATS, but then you're also just going straight to Nats to Utah. That is crazy.
yeah, I'm gonna look too.
Yeah, Tony's doing his research.
Yeah,
My
Tony,
P's not
wait,
working, bro. I'm spamming P.
Yeah,
Tony,
it's 5, so it's lower than collegiate nats for me.
It's what?
really?
Yeah, that's what it says.
And
Wait, say it
is
again.
that for junior or open?
For teen 3.
Teen.
Wait, what was
Yeah,
the number?
255.
Oh, what's the open one?
Open. It. Let me look.
Because is teen nationals on a separate day still, or is it also combined?
Well,
Open really high. That's
I mean, yeah, you're
well,
you got a
that's
lot of
they
years to get
have
there.
team nationals, but you can still go to raw nats as a team 3 or whatever.
Yeah. What's there's no teen nationals, it's just high school nationals, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
There used to be, and they just recently combined it, I believe.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
be teen
which
and junior.
Mhm.
yeah. So yeah, no, it's raw nationals. It's just so you're just gonna be mixed in with, juniors, youth, masters, like well maybe not youth. I don't think youth, but
Yeah,
yeah,
no, it's
junior.
just 1 through junior.
Yeah.
You said what about junior?
It's just teen 1 through junior.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, what about the open? You said what number was that?
377.
And you got okay, yeah, okay.
You had 322. I
Yeah,
mean,
Interesting.
that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Like a 50 key jump is doable. I don't know about till April, but soon.
Yeah.
I mean, like when you're a junior getting the open QT your first year, that's gonna be crazy.
yeah. Hopefully, that would be really cool. I don't think I hit the junior QT at this competition. It looks like it's 342, and I had 322.
Yeah, yeah,
But
322.
I don't. Yeah, hopefully I could hit that at like CNATs or raw nats next year, and that would be cool to be hitting that qualifying total a year younger.
I mean, that's phenomenal. But we kind of already covered your dreams in the sports, but are your dreams in the sport. But it's gonna be harder because again, a younger lifter just got through competing. How far do you see yourself going in powerlifting? Like, how far do you see this journey going?
I don't know. I mean, I could see myself continuing to do it after college. I love lifting. I've always like needed, I think, to push myself in a sport or in school or doing something. So I don't know. I feel like as a freshman, it's hard to like think about what I'm doing after college right now, but definitely doing it all 4 years of college, seeing how I could place at college nats like sophomore, junior, and senior year will be really fun.
I
Yeah, I
like it.
mean, God, I'm just kind of still thinking about how impressive hitting those QTs that quick are. But so obviously this you've already talked about starting Alabama Barbell because you'll find more people that you relate to, but what else would you say powerlifting and your powerlifting journey has done for you and in your life?
I mean, it's done so much just like with my mental health and just being a girl in general, I feel like there's always a lot like looked upon us to be skinny or to do something like that. So just to be able to come into powerlifting, I feel like has helped a lot with like my confidence all around life. I used to like be a little cardio bunny, and I think I weighed like 90 pounds. So now to be able to be like, yeah, I weigh 130 and I could lift this much is awesome. And like really proud of myself on how far I've come with like being able to push myself and confidence in and out of the sport.
Yeah. So we did kind of skip over that. You're our first female guest, first off, so congratulations. So being a female in the
Thank
sport
you.
of powerlifting, how is that for you? Like, do you notice anything, people kind of being like, oh, she's probably not that strong, or do you notice like, oh, you're stronger than some dudes and they're like kind of tweaking about it?
Yes, especially like in general, but being at the University of Alabama and powerlifting, like I've had dudes in the gym and they're like, "Oh, well like I bench 175, so I'm stronger than you." And they weigh like 220 pounds. And like I've had boys come up to me and be like, "Oh, I stopped hitting legs cuz like my legs are just too big." Men's egos at that school are huge. So it's definitely funny to be there and be lifting. It's also been kind of hard, like, I mean, being in a sorority, like, I've had some girls come up to me and be like, oh, like, I don't want to lift. I don't want to get bulky like you. And I feel like there's a lot of that, like, for all women everywhere. So, I mean, that was like the really only hard thing, I guess. I don't know. It's definitely smaller with women, I guess would be the other thing. So, I mean, like, not that the records were easier for me to break, but definitely, like, I broke a bunch of the 56 records, and those were definitely, like, a little lower. I mean, I still worked hard to break them. I still worked hard to break these squat records, but I feel like sometimes in the gym, it's still downplayed as, like, oh, well, like, you hit the QT because you're a girl and it's lower for girls. But like it's lower for a reason. Girls are genetically like it's you can't compete with a man in that way. So I don't know, but it's still fun.
Yeah, that's understood.
Valid,
But
no. Yeah.
all I got left is my finishing questions, Tony. Do you have anything else before I throw those out? You ain't
Dang.
gotta.
Not, I definitely don't think so.
I mean, we've covered a
No, I
lot.
don't. Yeah.
Avery's up there chilling. But yeah, so last three questions we'll ask everyone. You've already gave your advice to a newer lifter. So that was, don't overshoot, take your time, be patient, kind of make the right decisions, don't push things too fast. So this one might also be hard because you're a newer lifter. What mistakes would you say you've made that you would warn, don't do this? And it can be the same as you said earlier.
Um, yeah, I mean I feel like it's definitely like the same things that I said earlier. Like there's been times when like Josh has told me stuff in the gym and I just let my ego get in the way and I'm like, no, like I'm doing it and it's working, so I'm gonna continue doing it. So that was definitely a big thing. Um, I don't know. What else did I do? Oh, I guess just not following program. Like sometimes I could be very bad about not following program, especially when I started. And just like doing what I want to do because hitting a bench PR would be fun right now, but not the best for you in the long run.
Mhm. Definitely heard
Okay.
there. Tony probably has some experience there, but I always hit my accessories. Tony skips them. So squat, bench, or deadlift, give us the technique tip that you would like to pass along, something that you might have applied that's helped you, or something you know of that you've helped other lifters with.
Okay. I mean, I guess we could go with deadlift just because me and Tony just worked on that and my deadlift's been really good. But from what he said in the gym, just like thinking about not putting I pull sumo. So like I hinge my hips and then bend down, thinking about not putting my butt down too far, and being able to like just pull up from there and making it clean and consistent was really helpful. if that makes sense. I don't really know what he said. It makes sense in my brain, but I don't know how to explain it if Tony
No,
wants to.
you're good.
Yeah, we understand. We
No,
understand.
for sure. I'm not gonna explain it too much because,
Got to gatekeep it.
hey, man, you got to pay for that.
Yeah.
You got to pay
Wild.
for that. So, nah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing special. I mean, if you know how to deadlift, you should be doing that already. But, uh, nah,
Mhm.
I mean, back to the program thing though. I hope you are on program with me because
Yeah.
that was a little startling. I was like, not good at following program.
Sorry. I follow your program. I send you videos.
Yeah, you do. Oh, another thing you could work on is filling out that damn sheet. That's something you
Oh,
can work
Hey,
on.
bro, keep that in your own chat, man. Don't be hating on her on here.
dude,
That's
so
crazy.
hard to.
Nah, I'm just giving her
Bro
a hard.
cussed at her.
Nah, I'm just giving her a hard. I literally like. I'm just giving her a hard time.
All right, then.
I love
So,
having her as my athlete. Don't you guys
mhm.
don't obviously that's just how I talk to my friends. So
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, I'm sure Tony's very proud to have you as a lifter. Obviously, a very young lifter hitting these QTs, going to nationals, being a president of a barbell club as a freshman is insane. So you've already accomplished so much, but we're glad you joined us today, came in here and talked about it. And I think that's going to be all I got for you, but thank you for coming on.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having
wait,
me. It was really
do
fun.
you have any shout outs? You forgot
Yeah,
Uh,
you can
any
plug.
shout outs.
literally everyone on my barbell team did fantastic. And then it was amazing. We had Josh help me handle people, and Chris help me handle people, and I didn't even know him, and he did it anyways, which I was very, very thankful for. So, they did amazing, just keeping all of my lifters in check, and all of my lifters. I was so proud of them. I felt like a proud parent. Just they came out there and they did it. Really proud of everyone who competed.
Phenomenal. I think that's it.
All right.
Peace.